Cockshut 1900. Now you'll see this probably looks quite a bit similar to Mark Schmutter's Oliver 1950 that was out there before. That's because Oliver and Cockshut did a bit of a badge engineering deal, and this is actually an Oliver tractor badged as a Cockshut tractor. It uses the same 453 GM diesel, but you'll see this one is not a row crop version. It's got the shorter non-adjustable axle rear wheels and the non-adjustable front axle. So this is probably what they would call some sort of a, not a wheatlands, but I don't know what sure if they called it that, but it's a broad acre tractor. High horsepower for the time, again somewhere up around that 100 horsepower mark. These are very much at the top end of the power for our vintage tractor. Yeah. Bit of funny stuff going on. Oh no, the chain dropped off. Bernie would have gone down the other end without no problem, but he would have gone without the sled. Alright, see the big back wheels, the big weights in the centre there, the wheels will be full of water, lots of traction. Guarantee that Bernie's going to go right out the other end and the sled's not going to even slow him down, let alone stop him. So, with our vintage tractor pulls, this tractor is at the right at the top end of the horsepower classes. They're pretty much, this would be in what we call the open horsepower class. There's no other tractors really bigger than this. And he will easily go to the end. Yep, and stopped him. Well, he stopped. There's an Oliver 1950. Now I'm lucky because that's written on the side of the tractor, because I'm in no way an expert on these late model Oliver tractors. I think this tractor dates from about 1964, and this is also a row crop tractor. You'll notice it's got an adjustable front axle and it's got big tall rear wheels. This tractor's got a 453 GM diesel, and it's somewhere in the region of 100 horsepower. I don't actually know how many, but it's somewhere around that. This is one of the bigger tractors you'll have here this weekend. This is Bernie's Cockshut that's coming through, are basically both the same engine, roughly the same horsepower. This is a row crop version, and it is right at the big end of the sled. Tomorrow we'll add extra weight and drawbar height and stuff and pull him up, but today he's just going to show you how quickly you can pull the sled to the other end, because that's pretty much all it is. The Oliver 990 also has a 371 GM diesel. Now I'm not sure how different it is in specification, head, valves and all that sort of stuff, but it's basically a 371 GM. So similar engine, you'll hear it sound similar, you'll hear that really distinct two-stroke diesel sound. They sound like they're revving a lot harder than they are because they fire on every stroke, not every second stroke like a four-stroke diesel. Terry doesn't mind hitting the throttle on this tractor. She'll go down the track, and again, this tractor's probably in the higher horsepower class for the way the sled's set up at the moment. We've got no extra weight on it, but we do have the drawbar up fairly high. So we'll see how she goes. She'll probably get most of the way to the end, I would think. You'll see there's some wheel weights in the centre of the wheels, and the wheels will also be full of water. Nearly all these tractors that you see turning out in the road, virtually every one of them will have what they call water ballast in the rear tyres. This is the way farmers used to add weight to the tractor. They'd fill the rear tyres with water to give more traction, more grip on the ground. Every tractor you see out here at the moment, they'll all be full of water, and you'll often see wheel weights added to the centre of the axle or the centre of the wheels. That's to give you more ground pressure, more traction. With these vintage tractors, nearly every one of them in first gear will run out of traction long before they stop. That sounds like the microphone is working. Okay, welcome everybody. I hope you've been enjoying watching a bit of the tractor pulling. The guys are just having a bit of a play around. We're not changing the sled or anything. The guys are just having a bit of a practice and a bit of a warm-up. My name's Graham and I'm from the Sale Vintage Tractor Club. The Sale Vintage Tractor Club help Heyfield run the tractor pull each year. So, yeah. see the big weight box on the back. It starts off over the wheels at the back, so there's very little weight over the skid pan at the front. As the sled goes down the track, the weight transfers from over the back wheels. The box is driven forward by a mechanism driven by the wheels under the sled, and the box goes further and further forward, putting more and more weight on the skid pan and making it harder to pull. Came off the production line and was sold. You can see this tractor has got a 2-cylinder boxer engine. You can see the cylinders sticking out either side there, and they're a big twin cylinder boxer engine, so the pistons are going out towards the side and back in again. They're very quiet and deceptively powerful. They're only about 40 horsepower, but in the late 40s they were one of the broadacre tractors. They were designed to do the wheat farming and cropping. They were quite a big tractor at their time. In the 1940s, very quickly after that, the run was on to more and more horsepower. So same with 40K, that tractor shared with the bike. That was been up 15 years. Major one. That tractor will have no trouble pulling the sled through to that end with the sled set up the way it is at the moment. We have a full event starting with the smallest classes in the morning and working through to the big tractors in the afternoon. This tractor is a Leyland 285 owned by Bernie Rao from the Sale Vintage Tractor Club. This has got a big chunk, big Leyland built in the UK. Got a couple of really nice restored tractors. He's like the bigger tractor. He's got that big Leyland and the big cob shop. let him rip down the tractor. He likes to make some noise. Very committed young member, always helps out at the Canberra Working Horse and Tractor Rally Day. He's a sled operator, he drives a pullback tractor, just joins in and helps out at all times. It's another tractor that's been very nicely restored. Now you see what Kai's done there. He's backed the tractor up, he's put it out of gear, and he's put his hands out wide. That's to show the guy doing the hooking up that it's safe for him to reach in there and put the hook on the drawbar. That says I've got my tractor's out of gear, I'm not going to accidentally back up and hit you. All our operators should do that when they back the tractor up to the sled. And the hook-up operator should not reach down there to hook up until he sees the tractor driver put the tractor in neutral and put his hands out wide. There was a tractor version of this tractor, which was the Field Marshal. Fowler Marshal used the tractor engine and transmission assembly, and they built it into a crawler. And we came up with what they call the Fowler Marshal VF crawler, which is what this is. This little crawler is only about 40 horsepower, single cylinder diesel, and it will probably pull the sled to the other end without even taking a breath. Amazing the amount of work they can do. There was a lot of these little crawlers around in Australia at the time. They were very economically priced crawler in the late 40s and early 50s because they were made in the UK. And anything made in the UK, because we were part of the Commonwealth, anything made in the UK got preferential tax treatment. So the tariffs on this were not very high. Whereas the tariffs on a crawler from like a Caterpillar or something from the US, the tariffs were quite high, so these crawlers were quite economical. At the time, these were used extensively by the Country Roads Board, the CRB, a lot of the Shire councils and all that needed a crawler. There was a lot of these used. Still a fair few of them around. There's quite a lot in restaurant and preservation. Collectors have got them. They're a very interesting machine. Interesting to start. They actually start with a starter cartridge. Little Field Marshals out there. Doing very well. Single cylinder diesel. As I was saying, you can start them two ways. In the front of the engine there's a little thing you pull out and you put a little bit of slow burning wick paper in there and you screw that back in, it goes inside the head. You then set the decompressor and you wind the crank handle, you wind the flywheel into the right position. You put this great big crank handle in the side and you spin it really rapidly. And you get it up with the decompressor over, it gets up to quite a good speed, there's a mechanism that drops off, you come up on compression the next big stroke and the momentum of the flywheel takes it over and it will fire and run. The other way they start them is using what looks like a 12 gauge shotgun cartridge. They put this shotgun cartridge, but it's got no shot in it, it's just the charge. They put this in a device on the front of the tractor there which goes down into the cylinder. You put the wick paper in the front again, you put the flywheel in the right position, and then you whack the starter with a hammer. The cartridge goes off, sends the engine shooting around in the right direction, and it fires up and runs straight away. Quite interesting when you see it done. This is a system that was actually used a lot. There was a lot of aircraft engines and stuff used this cartridge start system in World War II particularly. A lot of World War II aircraft used this cartridge start system.